leave it on. What? I'm gonna leave it on. Y'all can continue with my song. Cause what? That is all on the same. Please stay with my phone all in the ear. And that is how we as a family over here. Cause what? Some people would have just been like, oh, let me delete that. No. Let me edit that out. No. We don't edit over here. This is all just, you get what you get over here. What y'all getting today from our cousins SSG Animations? Oh, what? My bad. You already know what time it is. Animated horror stories. Animated horror stories. Boom, boom, boom. Doom, doom, doom. As I was saying, with our cousins SSG Animations, two true disturbing 12 horror stories animated. So what the coppers is doing this time, we don't know. Something disturbing. Hopefully it's one of those that says true, but it's not true because we ain't got time for this to be based on no damn true story. Hopefully they're not doing something themselves and it's just, someone calling them and they're not coming fast enough or something. Like something, hopefully it's just not too nitty gritty. I don't want to deal with none of that. You know what I mean? So let's just jump into it. Let's see what's going on. Please like the video. Please comment. Please chat with me. Y'all don't be chatting with me. For real. I got 4 viewers that chat with me. I love you 4. So y'all stay chatting with me while we get some other people to chat with us too. Please grab a blunt, grab a bottle of water, grab a bag of chips, and grab a blanket so you can be snug. And let's get on into it. Like I said, hopefully it ain't about to be too nitty gritty. We don't need none of that. We don't need none of that, none of that, none of that. We just need it to be all civil. Like,
For the past 3 months, the news about the Facebook killer is all over the internet. It even caught the attention of some international media outlets.
Okay,
And this case is going overboard pretty fast. Last February, there was a new Facebook account that was opened in Georgia. At first, it was just like any normal account of someone called FBK. However, soon the user started to post
Facebook
pictures
killer.
of corpses of people whom he had killed.
Y'all ain't get the hint
The
that
user
FBK
tagged
was
all the
Facebook
friends
killer?
and family of the victim. And that is how we came to know about the Facebook killer.
Oh, you disrespectful
As a detective,
bastard.
I jumped straight into the case from day one. When the first complaint was filed,
Okay, I'm happy. So this is just about what he's doing. Good, good, good. And his profession, in his field, in his field, in his field. All right. And it's, he's a detective, so it's not like, so it's 12, but it's like 12.0, I mean, 12 squared, because he's the FBI, he's the FBI agent. So, that's 12 cubed.
as a detective, I jumped straight into the case from day one.
Yeah, that's 12 cubed.
When the first complaint was filed in this very police station, I was given the responsibility to handle the case. But from that day till now, the Facebook killer has killed 7 people and posted about each murder on his Facebook account.
Under your watch.
And we, as police, could not do anything.
Ooh,
This happened during the early days of Facebook, when it had just started to gain popularity. So the digital forensic department was struggling to track the location of this killer. One evening, I was just sitting at my desk at the police station doing some paperwork. Most of the station was empty, as most cops had left for home. Back then, I was around 33 years old and single. So when a stunning woman walked into the police station and sat in the chair opposite my desk,
you lost focus?
I was a bit awestruck.
Boy.
She had beautiful blonde hair, dark brown eyes, and a beautiful figure.
People is dying. People is dying. And you about to get distracted over a random bitch that just walk in? And this is the police station. What do you need? You need to be focused. Talk about some, she was beautiful, blonde hair, brown eyes, good figure. Boy, what does she want? Why is she up in there and people is dying currently? think? Pissing
She
me
had
off.
beautiful blonde hair, dark brown eyes, and a beautiful figure. But the thing I noticed a little too late was the fact that she was crying. How may I help you, ma'am?
Look at you.
What happened?
You trying to
Why
flirt
are
and
you
this
crying?
bitch is distraught.
I asked her. My natural protective instincts kicked in.
You need to arrest me now.
Snatch her
The
up.
girl said while tears rolled down her eyes. Ma'am, can you please tell me what happened? Why should I arrest you?
Because I can't stop. I can't control myself.
What you
Still
doing?
continued to cry her eyes out. Can't control doing what?
You killing
This
hoe?
was getting more and more
She's a
confusing
killer.
with every passing
I
minute.
feel it. I
killed
know.
my mother, our
Yep.
driver, and the gardener. And you need
Oh.
to put me behind the bars. I can't stop. I feel a strong urge to kill. Please help me, detective.
Walk her
She begged me and sobbed at my desk. However, I was struggling to believe what this was.
She just
Why
told
would
you what it
someone turn
was.
themselves in after committing a murder?
And if she's
Let
not
alone
telling the
beg a
truth, she's
detective
running
to
from
put them in
someone.
jail. Maybe this woman was mentally unstable and needed help. Ma'am, you say you murdered 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please tell me where their bodies are, so we can confirm their death and proceed to arrest you?
Yes.
She seemed
Speak.
to understand that.
Yeah. They're at my house.
All of them?
Now, if she was mentally ill, she may be bluffing about the deaths. So we had to see the dead bodies to find out if she was lying or was a mentally ill person.
What's
Well,
up?
can you take me to your home, where you've kept the dead bodies? I asked her as patiently
About
and
to try to
carefully
kill
as
your
I
stupid
could.
ass up in there too. She said
Being
she
a
can't help
detective had taught me enough on how to handle such matters. She sobbed for a while and then said,
Sure, detective.
I knew it would be wise to take a few cops with me in case there were truly dead bodies out there. So I asked Steve and Marcus to accompany me to the woman's place. A couple of minutes later, we stopped in front of a big mansion on the outskirts of town.
it. How these people been there?
Is
They dead.
this your house? I asked the woman beside me. She still hadn't stopped crying. It was getting a bit annoying at this point.
Yes, this is my house.
The 4 of us got out and walked into the property. Where are the bodies, ma'am? I asked her.
I buried the gardener and the driver in the backyard.
She said and started walking towards what I assume was the backyard. Steve, Marcus, and I followed her. We stopped in front of 2 huge pits, approximately 6 feet in length and 4 feet in breadth. The pits were covered with mud, but anyone could easily tell that these weren't ordinary patches of mud. These were unmarked
Telling the
graves.
truth.
The bodies are down there.
She confirmed. And where is the body of your mother?
In the house.
The woman started crying louder when I mentioned her mom. Maybe she truly killed her mother and now regrets her action. Anyway, I had to find the body and call for backup.
Please come with me, detective.
She gonna
I
try to
will
kill
show
you.
you where her body is.
No,
After you.
I believe it.
I followed the woman 2 floors up into the mansion when she suddenly stopped and pointed a trembling finger toward a room at the end of the hallway. I walked cautiously towards the room and opened the door. It was a well-decorated room, but dimly lit, so I couldn't spot a dead body in there. I walked into the room and still couldn't find the dead body. That's when I saw another door in one corner. It must have been the bathroom, and that's
where
where the
is
dead
she,
body
though?
must be. I entered the bathroom, and before I could comprehend what was going
I was
on,
thinking.
there was a knife in my back.
Oh!
It all happened so fast that I didn't pay enough attention to what was going on outside of the
What
room.
did I say? Where's she
The knife was
at?
stuck at an odd angle. My hands couldn't reach it. All I could hear was her high-pitched laughter.
What
Got
did
you,
I
detective.
say?
I got you before you could get to me.
Bitch, what? I got you before you could get to me. Like, what are you talking about, bitch? You supposed to be showing me your mama's body. And what did I say? Why would you just let her go up in there? Like, why would you just let her show you where to go? Oh, she's up in here. Just go on and look. Like, what are you doing? Why didn't you tell her to go first so you could keep an eye on her? Now you gotta shoot her because she stabbed you. That's the only thing you can do. You have to shoot her. You're a police officer.
There
You
was
have
a
to.
knife in my back. It all happened so
Gotta do.
fast that I didn't pay enough attention to what was going on outside of the room. The knife was stuck at an odd angle. My hands couldn't reach it. All I could hear was her high-pitched laughter.
Got you, detective.
Really let her
I got
stab
you before you could
guy?
get to me.
Talk about some stupid shit.
She was laughing and laughing. No trace of a single tear from before. All I could do was manage to somehow get out of the bathroom into the main room.
I heard that you were looking for the Facebook killer. You were investigating my case, weren't you? But the poor detective had no luck.
Oh.
I bet you didn't expect the killer to be a woman.
Oh.
There is no gardener or driver out there, you know? Neither is there a body in the bathroom.
Oh.
I just wanted you alone so I could finally kill the detective himself, who was sniffing at my trail like an obedient dog.
Wow.
But turns out, you're not so good at your job after all.
At all.
She was rambling on and on about how she had me and how she was smarter than me, while I lie there on the floor, face first. I was bleeding out, and I knew I would die if I didn't do anything. I knew my men down there wouldn't hear me scream or cry for help, and the backup team wouldn't make it here soon enough. I knew I was going to die, so I decided to ask her one question that had plagued my mind since I took up this case. Why did you kill all those people? Why are you killing me now?
She's killing you 'cause
detective,
you nosy.
don't you get it? It's just fun to kill. It's amazing to see the life drain out of my victims. You know, it's so fun to see you die right now.
She giggled even more and just sat there in a chair, staring at me, dying. That's when, with my dying breath, I pressed the panic button on my cell phone, and seconds later, I blacked out. A few weeks later, I woke up in a hospital. I don't know how I was saved or who saved me. All I knew is that the Facebook killer was caught, and I was alive to tell the story of how I almost died on duty at the hands of a serial killer.
Almost. That's close.
Hey guys, my name is Adam. I'm a police officer, but I'm currently on vacation because what I went through a few days ago was so traumatic, so horrible, that I'm still surprised I haven't left this job for good and moved on to something else. You see, I was always a very scary person. I know it's ridiculous for me to be a cop with a personality like that, but I wanted to better myself. I wanted to
as long as he said it, and you're not going to be bettering yourself by being a disrespectful ass cop. You're just going to continue to be a disrespectful ass cop.
For me to be a cop with a personality like that.
Ugh.
But I wanted to better myself. I wanted to overcome my fears and help society. Nothing and no one was going to tell me that I couldn't do it. Even though I was still a little scared at the beginning, my training gave me more confidence, and little by little, I managed to overcome my fears and become the cop I wanted to be. But there would be a day when my badge, my training, and my courage would come to nothing. And the worst happened to me in the place where I least expected it.
Your house?
That day, I had already returned to the police station. We had arrested a man. Strange. When we were called, the victim was terrified. He told us that this man was a psychopath, a cruel, violent, bloodthirsty monster. When we arrived at the scene, we met the victim and the criminal. The man was more than 2 meters tall. He was standing, looking at us with indifference. He didn't look dangerous, but when we saw the victim, we took him seriously. She was unharmed, but her eyes were wide open in shock. She did not react to our presence, just stared at the criminal as if he were the devil himself. We arrested the man and took him to the police station. I must admit that this was the smoothest ride we had ever had. Not only did he not resist at all, but he also silently obeyed everything we told him. We didn't understand what was going on, but he gave me and my partner a very bad vibe. We just wanted to get rid of him as soon as possible. When we arrived at the station, I was given the order to lock him in one of the temporary cells. He would probably be there for about 24 hours unless the victim gave us a good reason to do it for longer. But I saw that as unlikely, since when we left, she only asked that we take him as far away from her as possible. I was taking the man to the cell, but at that moment, the worst thing that could happen happened.
He yoked your ass
Shortly
up?
before, it had started to rain violently, and because of a thunderclap,
The
lights in the
lights
whole
went
station and the
out.
whole block were cut off. In that moment of
And then
confusion,
he yoked your
I
ass.
felt someone hit me with his body, and I fell to the ground.
Yep.
The strange man who accompanied me to his cell was no longer with me. I could hear his footsteps running in the station, but they were not heading towards the office, but inside the station. I thought about running and telling my colleagues, but I couldn't take that risk. The reason the criminal escaped was because I was distracted. A cop can't make those mistakes. I had to fix it without anyone knowing. In the dark, I pulled out my gun and followed him to the office. This was definitely not my lucky day, as the offices were under renovation. I entered the empty office, ready to shoot, wondering where this man was hiding. A part of me was terrified. I was locked in the dark office with a man of a very strange nature. A man who traumatized a person to the point of not wanting to report him and just want him out of the house. But I could not allow myself to be afraid. I was the cop, the person trained to defend himself, the person with a gun, and I was definitely not the one running away in handcuffs. I continued to investigate with my gun in hand, while I listened to the voices of the other cops gathering at the entrance or leaving the place to see if there was light outside. Little by little, I realized that I was becoming more and more alone, since no one would have any reason to stay in the dark or look for someone. Suddenly, I began to hear footsteps in front of me. Those footsteps were slow and intense, but what terrified me most about them was that they were determined footsteps. They were not the footsteps of a person trying to escape or hide.
He's trying to whoop
At
your
that
ass.
moment, I realized that this person did not go into the office to hide from me, but rather to trap me. I was the victim. I was the one who was supposed to be scared, not him. The slow steps picked up speed. The man was running towards me, zigzagging. After a warning, I fired twice and the footsteps stopped. Had I hit him?
No.
As soon as I took a step to investigate in the darkness, someone rushed violently toward me. The man used his handcuffed arms to embrace me and squeeze me in his arms. My weapon fell to the ground from the force he applied to me, and in one swift movement, he reached behind me and choked me even tighter. I tried to resist, but it was no use. The strength of the person was enormous, and to make it even worse, he seemed to be trained or to know martial arts because I could not free myself. The man slowly
Had that
stiffened
ass
his arms,
yoked
which
up.
made me understand that he was not even using all his strength. When I least expected it,
Oh,
when I was
strong
about to faint,
motherfucker.
the man gave a huge scream in my ear that stunned me. I lost all my courage. I
Oh,
cried as loud as I could in
no.
a dry scream that came out like a breath. The door behind us opened, and from one second to the next, many flashlights were shining on the man, who didn't seem to give up and pressed even harder. The cops were about to shoot him, but out of nowhere, the light came back on. At this moment, the man looked up and simply let go of me, crouching down and taking a passive stance again. The cops arrested him, and I fell to the ground
Oh, you
crying.
creepy motherfucker. Oh, I
The
would have been
nightmare
dead.
was over. The man was arrested for assaulting an officer, and I began my enforced vacation. While I was at home, I learned that the man began receiving several visits from a woman who seemed to treat him with great confidence and excitement. This woman was the same woman who had reported the man, whom we found in her home in a panic.
Why
We
would
found
you
out
call
that
the
this
cops on
woman
him
was
just
not
to-
related to the psychopath, and shortly after, we learned that she was writing a book about him. There are things I can't explain, like the power outage or why the man calmed down when he saw lights. But a part of me felt that all this was planned, and that the woman might not be the victim we thought she was.
You gotta find out what she's saying in them letters, then. What is she saying in them letters? Because why is she sending him a letter after sending him letters after she just had y'all come and arrest him? Like, was it a plan to have, someone in the police force killed or something? Like, what's really happening there? Cause, y'all just doing stuff. This bitch here is the Facebook killer trying to stab people up just cause that man thought she was fine as hell. Almost killed what? She almost killed him just off of boo, I killed these people, come check. And then the fact that he let her just tell him where to go. He went up in there and then got stabbed. Pissed me off. But number two, What? That man almost died in the dark, yoked up, and then for him to just let go like that when the lights came on. Nope. I still want to know why Sis is writing him letters after she was staring at him like that. Like, what did he do? Like, did the same thing happen over here? Over there? He yoked her ass up and then let her go when something else happened? I don't know. Who knows? We'll never find out because they won't tell us. Let me know what's your thoughts and which one was your favorite. And until next time, you guys, bye.